just went through that Texas lineup without any problems. I mean, they had that one inning where they had 2 singles, but that was pretty much it. David Williams shut him out with, I believe, 9 strikeouts in 7 innings, and that's on par with his season. He's pitched 31 shutout innings with 46 strikeouts now, 53 strikeouts or 54 strikeouts, and he's been a key part of that A&M ball club over there. And Texas just saw why.
Well, he'll be a key component if they're able to continue their seasons, assuming that they get past the Longhorns this weekend, win this series, get that crucial final victory, and ultimately have a late postseason run. Because if the Aggies keep on par with what David Williams has been doing all year, maybe he's going to be that key piece that they need to go on.
They might have a chance to win the
their
national title.
National title.
They might have a chance
in program history.
If he gets the pitch in that championship game, they might have a shot because he's perfect on the year. It's unbelievable.
Don't know if y'all know this. It's actually a double elimination tournament, kind of like in NCAA for baseball. So I wouldn't expect them to end up in the losing bracket, but if they were to somehow lose with a different pitcher, and then he would be a strong component for him to get get back on track. But David Williams is incredible. Some really good hitters in their lineup, and we'll see what happens the rest of the weekend.
And also now for Texas to win, Texas really has to. I mean, they have their second and third pitchers, Chad Berry and Alex, right? And they're 2 very good pitchers as well. Not on the same level as Blake Sandall. Blake Sandall is their clear number 1, but they do have the ability to shut down A&M. And Texas's key here is going to they have to get the offense going. They weren't able to do it against Williams. They have to get it going now, or they're going to be done for the year.
Oh, no question about it. And and referring back to what Sandal was telling us before the game, it's all about the quick start. If we can do that, then we'll be able to get that early lead, and it's all about he showed us today that if he has a slow start, he actually gets better as the game progresses.
He does.
And maybe his teammates are the same way. As the game progresses, they got to wake up a little bit.
And they seem to do that as they got the majority of their hits in the later innings against Williams.
Well, yeah, and that consistency, that getting better over the long run, could be crucial in ultimately getting back in this series, coming back from the 0-1 deficit, and maybe avoiding a late game collapse because the pitchers are so dominant as the game gets, progresses and in the later innings of the game.
And that's exactly right.
Well, this is the end of our broadcast. Thank you for tuning in this afternoon. It's been a very fun game to cover for Reed Hauser. I'm Thomas Bingham. Y'all have a great afternoon, folks.
Hi, I'm Edward, and this is Jimmy Kimmel. And Jimmy Kimmel, do you love Texas Student Television?
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't love Texas Student Television?
Bad people don't like Texas Student Television. So
Hitler probably was against Texas Student Television.
Yeah, he had many bad ideas, and one of them was not liking Texas Student TV. So should people watch Texas Student TV?
Yes, people should watch. People should watch a lot of television in general, but particularly Texas Student.
And also Jimmy Kimmel.
Thanks.
Austin, Texas, from Midland and Odessa. These 2 teams come together tonight to play in the 4th game of the USL regular season. Folks, thanks for coming by with us today. Austin, Texas from Midland and Odessa. These two teams come together tonight to play in the fourth game of the USL PPL regular season. Welcome, folks. Thanks for coming by with us today. I'm Bruce Spin alongside Ross Kelly as the Austin Aztex take on Midland and Odessa Science. Ross, we got a good one.
We sure do, Bruce. I think it's going to be a very tested fire match. Coach Manny wants to stay perfect, especially in the
teams come together by with us today. I'm Bruce Spin alongside Ross Kelly as the Austin Aztex take on Midland and Odessa Science. Ross, we got a good one.
We sure do, Bruce. I think it's going to be a very tested fire match. Coach Manny wants to stay perfect, especially in the
Thanks for coming by with us today. Texas from Midland and Odessa. These two teams come together tonight to play in the fourth game of the USL PPL regular season. Welcome, folks. Thanks for coming by with us today. I'm Bruce Spin alongside Ross Kelly as the Austin Aztex take on Midland and Odessa Science. Ross, we got a good one.
We sure do, Bruce. I think it's going to be a very tested fire match. Coach Manny wants to stay perfect, especially in the wants to stay perfect, especially in the
Odessa.
Check, check, check.
Green. Hey, let us know whenever we're on. Yeah.
Check. Hey, what's it all again? To me one more time. The channel and all that.
Texas Student TV.
Yeah.
Hey, Thomas. Turn us down. TexasStudentTV.com/livestream. Hey, I'm just down.
What's the local channel?
29.1.
29.1. And what's the YouTube thing? Yeah.
What?
And welcome back to the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being with us here
Saturday night soccer here in Austin, Texas. I'm Brooks Gabina, along with Ross Kelly, as we are just minutes away from kickoff between the Austin Aztex and the Midland Odessa Sockers. And as we start our starting lineups, we'd like to remind you that this broadcast is brought to you and powered by Verizon 4G LTE. For the Austin Aztecs, the starting lineup at goalkeeper is Devin Cook-Perales. Defense, Cruz Aronos, Josh Alcala, Travis Golden, Kalen Ryden. And the midfielders, Justin France, Tony Roca, Andres Cuero, Adam Black, and the forwards, Cito Sion and Chuy Cortez. For the Sockers, goalkeeping is Clint Long. Midfielders are Tanner Brock, Fabio Pena, Alberto Garcia, Rory Nibbs, and Diego Cabral. Defensemen are Jordan Slack, Walker Hume, Ante Spajic, and Byron Knowles Ramirez. Those are your starting lineups powered by Verizon 4G LTE. We are just minutes away from kickoff, and as we talked in the pregame, these two teams, well matched together, but the Sockers have never beaten the Austin Aztecs as the Aztecs joined the PDL 2 seasons ago. So in this matchup, they really look to try and get that win. How do they do that here, Ross?
Well, I think a good thing that adds to that is obviously the bringing in of the Humes brothers. And I don't know if you saw this, Brooks, but actually when the Humes brothers' names were being called out for starting lineup, the Eberlezy Army's fans turned their back on them, so that you can see how personal they're taking it. Probably moving the ball around and staying focused and being physical are going to give Midland Odessa a good chance of competing. But at the end of the day, Brooks, if Austin does what they need to do and play, the style of soccer that we've been playing from day one here, it should be a definite victory.
And the Aztecs have elected to get the ball first. There we are, starting here at House Park. The Aztecs taking in as Tony Roca flipped right immediately to start the game as he's trying to gain possession on his end. Roca 2 goals last week. Team of the week for the USL PDL. Coming on the inside, Chuy Cortez. Cortez doing well as well. And chipped over onto the right side. Led over out to the right end, and it will be out of bounds. It will be soccer ball.
Yeah, nearly a chance to get an early corner kick, and one of the things that's really dangerous in soccer is if you can get an early set piece, whether that be a corner or a free kick. So barely went off Adam Black there, looking like it was going to be a corner, and that would have been a huge play to kind of get started.
Right, and Adam Black has really come along this season as well, getting a nice corner kick goal in the first game of the season, and then having a nice assist last week. Really been playing into his own on this end as the Sockers get ahead on this one. Wide open shot, and it is blocked away by Cook-Perales, saving what would have been the first lead against the Aztecs this season in the regular season.
I don't know if we realize how close that was. That should have been an absolute goal, and that shows you why Devin is such an incredible keeper and the best in the PDL, that he just saved a breakaway in the first 2 minutes of the game, Brooks.
And a corner kick right across the middle, trying to head in is Nibbs. He can't get a hold of it. It's going to go out of bounds. But my goodness, Beto Garcia just had that wide open right across the middle, and he is just kicking himself, thinking I should have had that one.
He sure was, and you know what? It didn't even come from a string of passes. That's the beauty of this game. It's popped off a couple shins. One of our defenders tried to have a whop at it, and it went the wrong way, and all of a sudden you got a breakaway. He's going to be kicking himself for not taking that better. He went to his left, and Devin guessed the correct way, and it was a great save.
And to midfield, the kick from Perales. Out of bounds, it'll be thrown in by the Aztecs. On the left corner. Bopped off the heads into the middle. Sockers again with the possession. Pena trying to find some room with it. And it's kicked across into Aztecs territory. Booted away. Out in front is Nibbs. Nibbs trying to get some space on the left corner. He's going to kick just a bit wide. And the Aztecs will have possession. Aronos in the starting lineup today.
Yeah, I think Cruz is a fantastic player, and he fits in well. A lot of times he plays, in the center midfield areas, but he's done well on the outside back, and he came in last week at a good substitution and did well.
And comes in with a nice slide coming in, getting back possession to the Aztecs, and they're going to call a foul at midfield as Cito Sion had a wide open lane out to the goal, and they're going to call him short. Back at midfield.
I love the way Cito plays with so much energy and aggression. I mean, that's the one thing that you see in those famous forwards like Carlos Tevez and some of those other ones that just run, and that's what you want, because not only does he put the ball in the back of the net, but you know, he doesn't go down easy, and he terrorizes those defenders, and he makes sure that they're going to be on top of their game.
And 3 minutes into this game, the Aztecs have been kept away from the ball. The Sockers have really maintained possession of the ball for most of this half, as it's picked up by Cortez into the corner, tries to get some room, and it's booted out of bounds. Right into the jumping pit for the kids. Thrown back into play. Out in the left corner. Led all the way on the other side. Open shot and a goal! Four minutes in. And guess who?
Offside.
They're calling it back for an offsides. Oh my. Just on the right side, looked a little bit as the fans are not happy.
Yeah, it looked like the linesman was close or very close to the play, so he probably did get it right. But Brooks, from our angle, it looks like Cito timed it perfectly. A fantastic ball from Tony, and he tucks it away well. But you know, that's how it goes. Was it offsides or not? We'll have to check the the film later. But God, what a great ball by Tony, and great touch by Cito.
Just a bit too good to be true for the Aztecs starting in this one, and both teams having incredible opportunities to get the game's first goal, and both of them come away dry. As the Sockers are on their own end of the field. Walker Hume back on the defensive side, getting back on and heads it back over to Clint Long.
And you make a great point. I mean, that is the difference in winning games or losing them, is both teams have had incredible chances, and they both kind of squandered them. So you've just got to take your opportunities here, and we'll see how many more both teams get.
Nibs gets it across midfield, pass back to Garcia. Garcia trying to get out to it, slid by France, gets it back, tosses it back over to Roca, and it's booted out of bounds towards the out-of-bounds line from Tucker Hume. And on this end, Alcala tries to loose it down near the goal. It's going to run out to the top right corner. And a shot by Sion bounces right off the shins of Knowles. Back in on this side. Up with the shot over the side is France, and he just can't find any space. The defensive side for the Sockers just...
Great dummy by Justin. Chewy had time to even take a touch there, but great play by him. You'd like to see Chewy at the 18-yard box with a pretty much wide open shot. He hit it a little bit into the ground. It was unfortunate, but good movement by Cito as well.
And both coaches inevitably grasping their hearts as this one right over the goal on a corner kick out by Sion.
And that's what Walker does so well back there. He's just, Walker and Tucker are just two beasts. I mean, they both, 6'6" in height and great headers the ball. And Andres was able to put that back, which is what you want to do if you make the far post run in a corner. But no one was there to attack his ball. So great job by Andres. Austin needs to send more people down the middle and front post as well.
And Cito from the right corner lets it loose right across the middle. And it's headed out of bounds by Walker Hume again.
And Brooks, one of the things, either playing college or transferring or in PEL or in the pro level is you can tell Walker and Tucker up for this game. You don't know why they left or the full story and all that, but you can tell they've got a bit more pip to their step, and they don't want to get embarrassed on pretty much their old home field.
Right. And a lot of their old fans still in the crowd. And before the game, as they introduced each player, as most of the players come in, the crowd will chant "Who?" Whenever Walker and Tucker were introduced, parts of the crowd turned their back.
Yeah, it's kind of a sad story, but I mean, you wish them the best because they're all love those two kids. They're great people, but it's kind of a sad story in the fact that they are kind of hometown heroes, and the Eberle's Army loved them. I mean, literally loved them. So it's a very weird and awkward situation when you see that, because they were the firm favorite literally a week ago.
Right.
And so
hometown kids.
Yep.
from Westlake High School, and
you couldn't not spot them. You knew who they were from a mile away. One was in the back, one was up top, so it was a great story. But we wish them all the best. But it's I mean, it's definitely going to be the story of the game to see how they play, wearing the white instead of the blue.
And this one loosed from Perales from long towards midfield. Picked up possession by the Sockers. Pena in the middle, fighting for possession out on the right side and falling over. Still going after it. A scrum of a rugby play. Just trying to get this ball out towards midfield. The Aztecs have it out on the near side. Led over to Chewy, and he defended right back into the middle as it goes over it into Hume. Hume trying to get over to it, and it's going to go right back into Long's foot. And just a shank over on the right side. And it's going to go out of bounds.
Dangerous ball back to Devin, but he's got incredible feet. He was able to handle that. You never want to give a goalkeeper a bouncing ball. It's always a tough one, especially that quick. But Tucker was on his back, so wasn't too bad of a play at the end of the day. Also, Brooks, in every game in the beginning, you always want to see how the ref's calling it, and you can tell he's letting a lot of things go, which is we don't know if it's going to be a good or bad thing for us, and we got to see figure it out. But he is not calling quick fouls, so it's going to be a physical one, that's for sure.
And over to Franz. Franz in the starting lineup for the first time this season, after a few injuries to the lineup. Tony Roca in the middle. He's over to Sion on the right side. Tries to get some space, and it's blocked away. Brock with it now. Tries to get it down to Garcia. Garcia can't hold on to it. Out to Chewy on the left side. He's going to kick it back into midfield, try to restart things. Nice little pooch right into the chest. Fighting for it is Roca. He'll get it back on the left foot. Leads it over to Chewy Cortez out on the left side. Nice little lead over into the left corner. Loosed across the middle, and it's blocked away by Hume. And he'll just boot it across the middle of the field. And it'll be Soccer's ball. Oh, and a slide by Cuero out of bounds. They're going to call it Soccer way. He thought he might have gotten a chip off the Soccer's end.
And I love the way Andres plays. He's a seasoned pro, and you know, he definitely knows when to go down and get on the ground and get dirty, and he knows when to stay up. So great tackle by him.
Another tackle on this side. The ref's really letting him play. Oh, and a nice shot over there by Pena, trying to get on the left side. Wide open, Nibs on the left end, and goal!
Goal, Midland, Odessa Soccer.
Rory Nibs from the left side. A shot to the right post. And the Sockers have their first lead against the Austin Aztecs this season.
Absolutely, and Rory was the same player who missed the breakaway. Took that one about 10 times nicer. Fantastic shot, and Brooks, it goes back to show you how quick this game is. Justin had a little bit of a mess up of a touch. It popped up. The ball's bouncing around, especially on AstroTurf. Their midfielder was able to put it down quickly and pretty much counter because everyone was up. So it's a tough thing, especially as a centimeter, to lose that ball. And give Midland credit for taking that well.
All right, Nibs gets a chance to make up for it. We'll see if the Aztecs get on their side. And Franz out on the middle, leads it out to Chewy Cortez on the left side. Ball kick on the middle side, and it's kicked way out of bounds. Almost right between the legs.
The flying elbow nearly took Chewy out there.
And Tony Roca across the middle. Chipper, header, over.
That was absolutely gorgeous. That was the exact same left swinging kick that was nearly a goal, but was offside by Cito. And Andres read that perfectly. And God, he would want it just a little bit lower next time. But that's amazing. Brooks is the same thing that happened last week. Austin starts a little slow. He goes a goal down within 12 minutes. I mean, in the soccer world, that's unacceptable to kind of let goals go down that quick. But I know Coach Manny's going to be upset with that, but it was well taken. Let's see how they adapt and react.
Well, in the pregame, Guintello said they couldn't underestimate the Sockers, and now down by 1 against a team they have never lost to, a position this season that they're not really familiar with. How do they come back into this one?
Yeah, and it's the exact same thing pretty much that we spoke about last week. Is you're a goal down, and there's 80 minutes left in this game, so there's an incredible amount of time. So you don't panic. You do what we're doing now. You spread around the back. Midland's going to probably sit back because they have that goal. It's the perfect time to get goals. When the team sits back and hangs it in there. This is when Tony needs to spray the ball around. This is when Andres needs to be creative. This is when Chewy needs to get his touches. Remember, he didn't get early touches last game. And have some more shots on goal. And when we do get in front of the box, we finish them.
And this one thrown in to play on the right side. Hume with it in the corner. Kicks it back in, right off the chest of the Aztecs. Trying to get in possession. Chewy with it on the near side. Dribbling across towards the middle. Trying to find some space. Oh, looses it up towards the middle of the end. Soccer's
nearly through.
Take it back.
Oh, wow.
And up on the right side. A blooper across the middle, and it's picked off.
Brooks have been impressed with Midland. They want to go forward. They want this game, and Austin needs to kind of turn up that intensity level a couple and start taking this game a little bit more seriously.
And across the middle, Franz with it, with Cortez. Moves across the middle into the chest. And now Adam Black across the middle, fighting for it, can't get to it. Stopping away, and they're going to call a foul.
Wow. And I don't think we realize sometimes when we see it from the stands, but how gorgeous that technique for Tony to hit a 45, 50-yard ball across field perfectly to Cito's chest. For him to have the technical ability to bring that down so well and get after it. I mean, it's those small things, very, very small, that separates good players from great. And now we're going to see what's going on here. You got Tony, Cito, and Adam Black all over the ball, which is pretty funny. You don't see that many left-footed players on a team. They're all three left-footed, and looks like it's going to be Adam Black's.
He'll get a shot at it, and there it goes, loosed right into the wall of Sockers. Blocked it all the way across back to midfield. Fighting for it is Nibs. Nibs with the goal already on the left side, and he's just going to dribble it out of bounds.
Rory Nibs is doing a great job of just pestering those defenders. That's the one thing, especially that being my position as a center back, is you hate to see forwards get on you, give you a long day, and just annoy you, truthfully. And Rory's doing a fantastic job at that. And we'll see. He's already got one, so this could be a long night for Austin.
And this one goes out of bounds. Aronos will throw it back in. And Roca across the middle, loose all the way to Franz. Can't hold on to it. And the Sockers maintain possession. The Aztecs have had their shots, but have not been able to consistently have things on offense. As Nibs leads this one out on the left side over to Cabral on the left corner. And it's batted away by Aronos out towards the locker rooms.
And that just goes to show you kind of Tucker's presence being felt, even though he didn't get on the end of that cross. He's in the box and he's 6'6", so now Travis is having to pick him up, and he's a great header of the ball, but that height differential, let's hope, doesn't hurt us later on.
And the corner kick over, and Hume off the head of Hume and through the goalpost. Not the right goal,
official online video home, offering a live game
goes into the foot of Clint Long, and he'll just loose this one as far as he can.
YouTube channel today.
And you see that height from Hume on both sides of the field. On those corner kicks, he has touched it first throughout this entire game. That height, not something that you can teach. And across the middle, all the way on the other end, and Chewy almost getting a shot at it. It's booted right up into the sky from Nibs.
And you can feel the fans just want a goal. I mean, we all do. Packed on both sides, and the energy's coming. The sun's just after setting a little bit here, and Austin needs to just kind of shape up and connect a couple and actually take their chances, like you mentioned.
And Black into the corner, back out. Alphonse with it on the right side, trying to get a shot, and it's blocked away. Racing over to it, Hume with it, led over to Garcia. Beto makes a nice stop, Turn around up into the right side and a slide away tackle away from Alcala. This one rolls out of bounds. It'll be Aztec ball.
All
off
right,
the foot of
Aztecs
Garcia.
fans, with your team trailing a goal to nil in the 19th, let's make some noise and get a goal back.
And the fans cheering on their home team, trying to give their support as they're down 1-0 in the 18th minute. Franz with it at the middle. East over onto the right side, over to Sion. Sion trying to find some space. Comes back into the middle. Black with it now. Tap back to Aronos. To Roca. In the middle. Shot on the left side. Roller. Long's got it.
Yeah, and I like that. Why not? You know, have a couple shots. There's no problem with that. Test the keeper. Tony's got a fantastic left foot. You never know where deflections are gonna go. So that's a shot on goal. I looked a bit easy for the keeper, but yeah, absolutely, Tony. You know, well done having to go there.
The lack of offense. They've tried to at least apply some pressure. This one loose across the side, and Kim will get it back and tap it back to Long. Long is a part of what Matt Barnes called his backbone whenever he started his head coaching job back this January. One of the first four players that he brought in. Big slide.
That's going to be a foul.
Franz, they'll call the foul. Just bowled over.
You can let some things go away, but that was went right through the back of him.
And tapped up across the middle. Black going over to it. Long's got it. Long from Blue Lake, California. Started his collegiate career at Oregon State. He transferred to Cal State Stanislaus, where he made the All-CCA third team back in 2012. And along with Ante Spajic, what Barnes has called his backbone of the team. And really riddled with talent this team is. It just not really showed up until today. So I talked a little bit about that in the pregame. Black going after it, taps back in.
Yeah, well, and Matt Barnes, the coach of the Midland Sockers, made a good point a couple weeks ago where they were content getting a 2-1 loss against the most proven and an experienced team and the reigning champions in the PDL. You know, Austin's a team that's been playing together now for 3 years consistently, and trains in the off season as well. So you're right. I think Midland has talent, and they're starting to kind of, you know, as the season progresses, understand it a bit more. And this PDL season is quick, so you really do have to start picking it up, and it looks like they are.
Because they usually have to go through, like they leave.
And in this regular season, Sockers were the team, the only team that have been within one goal of the Aztecs so far. Played them tight, and they're ahead 1-0 here. Roca, header over onto the right side. Cuero's got it. Taps in across the middle to Franz. Franz back to Roca. Tries to find some space. Lefty out on the left side. Oh, tries to get over to it. Almost a shot, but it's going to be booted out of bounds by the defense. And this defense is like a curtain.
Yeah, they are. They're strong and they're physical back there, and great one touch from Tony out to Andres. That's what we need a little bit more is a couple of just quicker passes. The technical ability is there, but they've got to play a little bit quicker.
And picked up on the left side by Alcala. Roca with it at the top. Back to Black on the left side. Back up to Alcala. And they'll just boot it back into midfield towards Golden. Golden back in the lineup after a broken leg, kept him out for a couple of years. Cortez, left side. Back to Alcala. Tries the little chipper, but it's right into the chest.
Yep.
And they're fighting for it across the middle. They'll call a foul. They'll call it on Golden. Trying to get over the shoulders of Hume.
And this is going to be such a, if you're a soccer fan, a good matchup to see. To see Travis, you know, take care of Tucker up top and see that battle that they have, because right there, Travis is in a better position, but with Tucker's big frame, he was able to get in front, and that's one of the things that Tucker does so well is that he holds the ball up as a big striker. He's good for your he definitely bangs in a couple goals per season, but what he's also so good at doing is holding the ball up, which is such a kind of a lost art sometimes, with forwards.
Play on the right side over to Slack. Slack with the left foot, batted back to him from Alcala, and Perales comes over to scoop it up. Perales thought about rolling. Saw Tanner Brock coming in inching, saying, "I dare you." Boots on all onto the right side. Sion going after it.
What's also funny, what we talked about too, is Dev Cook and goal, good friends with Tucker and Walker. Both from the Austin area. So, you'll see if they're having any combos or any nudges on corner kicks, or see what's going on there, or if it's all happy and playful.
Well, the two playing in a couple of clubs together, but their high schools played against each other.
Yep, that's right.
Perales from Stony Point over in the Round Rock area. And Roca chips this one over across the right side, over to Cuero. But
so good with that.
Just comes over and picks it up.
So good with that left-footed, little chip shot behind the back line. But give credit to Long and the back line of reading that every time.
And you can see how the Aztecs are a little hesitant to try and pull some moves after the first offsides. And the middle fighting with it is Pena. It's going to go out of bounds. Aztec way. And a foul.
Oh, wow, he stepped over the line on a throw-in. So everything that should be going wrong for Austin right now is. Let's see if time can change that fortune.
And throwing it into the Aztec side. Hirono's got it. Kick to midfield. Trying to find some space is Sion. And led out on the right side. And possession back to the Sockers. Racing over is Franz. Leads over to the right side. And Long will just pick it up.
Cito's doing a great job of getting behind that left back. And I'd love to see Chewy do that to the right back. He's getting the ball, looks like a lot of times, in positions where he's already having that defender in front of him. And we spoke about it last game, and Paul Dalglish was the one that really wanted to implement that from a couple seasons ago. Is Chewy needs to get behind defenders when he first gets the ball, so he doesn't have to take that first player on. He can go straight to goal. So that opening, right behind that right back when he creeps forward as he is doing, I'd love to see Chewy kind of gamble and get a through ball from Tony in there.
Well, Chewy met face-to-face with Long a few seconds ago, trying to get him to pick it up over on that side. And Perales picks it up on the right side. Chewy, one of the more exciting players on the Aztecs end. Don't really know what to expect out of him sometimes. Can pull a play out of nowhere.
Yep.
A couple of weeks ago last week.
He's a magician. He's special. He's low to the ground. He's got incredible feet. He never does the same thing twice. He gets behind you. You don't know where he is. He's definitely a player that no matter what players the Aztec staff brings in, it seems like Chewy is always a hands-down starter and is always that special player, because that's just what he is. And so glad to have him back again.
And riding with it on the far side, as the Aztecs try to get some opening on this side, and now they have another chance here. Adam Black with it, takes it out. And booted by Ronos forward to Sion. Sion fighting for possession. Triple teamed on that end. Back to Roca in the middle. He saw Alcala try to get it over to him, but Hume came over and knocked it away.
Yeah, Tucker worked back.
Alcala with it. Led over to Chewy. Back to the middle to Franz. Leads over to Chewy's end. Out on the right side. What will go on the left side? Blocked away.
We'd love to see Chewy take that with his left foot there and cut it back for a runner coming through, but you can't critique him because the give and go was fantastic. The pace to get there was great, and it's just what we talked about. Let's get Chewy running at goal. That's incredibly dangerous when he does that.
Franz with the perfect tap, and he comes over on the corner kick right across the middle, and it will scoot all the way across the field. Didn't look like anybody had it, and they'll call a tip-off of the Sockers. Remain Aztecs ball.
And I'm surprised here. Brooks Travis is hanging back. I don't know if that's something that they do where they don't bring both center backs forward on on corners, but oh, and here he goes this time, and Kalen's going to hang back. So I'd love to see them both, honestly, going up. I think they have the firepower to handle that, and Josh, as he's better, and Cruz can hold back, but you know, we'll see how that progresses.
And Cito on the right corner lets it up. Golden over, trying to get over to it, and Hume bats it away with his head. Over on Roca, takes a left foot, skies it way over the goal and goes out onto Lamar Boulevard.
That's in Shoal Creek, isn't it?
A little bit. Souvenir for the fans on that end.
Yeah.
And Clint Long will get a new ball. 28 minutes in, the Sockers lead 1-0. The Aztecs.
That thing's still in the air, isn't it?
3-0 in the Mid-Southern Division. Ronas on the right end. Hume trying to get over to on the left. Through the legs of Aronos. He'll kick it back towards Perales. Lets it fly over to midfield. Cortez fighting for possession with Slack. Slack over, bats it over towards the middle. Now Slack, along with Clint Long, has played every minute of this season for the Sockers. And Hume fighting for it, falls over.
A lot of times you get that in an outside back. You get a durable outside back. It's one of those positions that that you really don't change too much, because it's you know, just a durable. If you get a durable outside back, you know, why switch that person out? So
he flipped in midair as Roca. We'll call a foul there. Referee debating the intent, still arguing.
The ref's starting to use the whistle a little bit more as things start to get a little bit heated up, but that should be a good thing, right? Austin's down. It's already 30 minutes have played in. You know, it's time for Austin to get stuck in and you know, start getting a bit more aggressive.
And loose across the middle over to Chewy on the left side, fighting for possession. Out with it is Franz. Franz on the right side, trying to tap it in over to Alcala. Alcala with the left side, almost getting over to the ball, and then up comes Long to pick it away. Alcala thought he had an open lane, but then Fabio Pena stuck a left foot in to shatter the dream. Over comes Cortez, fighting with Hume. Right across the middle, picked up by Sion.
Poor ball by Hume, and Cito could be in here.
Over right across the middle, see what he can do. Over left side, Chewy, open. Over across the middle, over to Chewy. Left side wide. As he lies down, and he can't believe the opportunity that just passed.
Walker's putting his hand up, saying, "My mistake, guys. Played a poor ball over to Cito, and same thing that happened to us a little bit ago. That could have been our chance to counter from a mistake."
And just a nice pass in between him and Cito, just trying to find the open goal, and they got it with Cortez. He just could not put it in the back of the net. And loose across the middle.
I think that's what, 4, you know, very good opportunities. I'm not even talking about total opportunities. I'm talking about Andres' header off the bar, Cito's goal that was a touch offside, and 2 Chewy runs. You know, could be 4 prime goals there. And Austin's just got to do a better job of just keeping their composure, and whether it be leaning over the ball or using the right foot, put the ball in the back of the net.
And Cito tripped away. We'll get spot kick over on the far side. As the Aztecs line up near the goal. Cito and try and put it in a spot for the Aztecs to get a shot at it. And call time by the referee. Hume. Spajic fighting for possession in the middle, trying to break up a little bit. Roca shrugs his shoulders. Hey, we're good here.
No problem.
And Cito lets it fly across the middle. And headed out by Hume. They'll call a foul on the inside. Really trying to take over on this end.
And Brooks, this is the exact same situation. I think Midland's obviously a better team than Mississippi in terms of organization and technical ability, but same exact area where a quick goal from Midland. And what happened is, as you see, pretty much everyone's behind the ball except Tucker. And they are just whopping it forward and being physical, being aggressive. And Austin needs to have that composure to open them up, spring the ball around, and slot a goal. And that's going to start pulling that Midland team out. But as of now, 1-0, I bet Coach Barnes is saying, hey, let's keep this, let's keep it where it's at.
Right across to Cortez, run off his chest, and Hume will have a chance to recover. Puts it on the right side. And you're right, up on this left side, over comes Cabral. Could be another opportunity for the Sockers. Led across the middle, batted out of bounds by Travis Golden. It'll be a corner kick for the Sockers from Diego Cabral. And the only opportunities on the offensive end for the Aztecs that have opened up have been a little bit of miscommunication from Hume. And the corner kick, got across the middle, trying to get ahead on it is Hume. He can't get it. Now fighting for possession is Spajic. Across the middle, headed out by the Aztecs. Boot back into the middle. Golden back out to Brock. Brock trying to find it. He does, left foot, across the middle, over to Pena. Right side, slide tackle, picked up by Andres Cuera. Chipped away across to the midfield. On the right end now. Golden will head it out of bounds. Aztecs have a chance to recover here.
Fans, let's
be a
make
soccer
some noise.
throw it from Beto Garcia. 34 minutes gone. As the Sockers lead it 1-0. Throwing it into the corner to Hume. Alcala getting a right foot on it. Bicycle kick back over. Black's got it across the middle. Trying to get his left foot on. On the right end. Cito with it. Midfield. Pushes it ahead. Races over to it. Over on the right end. Fighting for possession with Hume, and he's got it. As the crowd just started to feel a rush of sensation. The Aztecs still have possession. Roca over to Franz. Across the middle. Left foot. Trying to get a shot off, but he has slid away by Beto Garcia. Holding his hands up saying, what was that?
This Aztecs corner kick is sponsored by Soccer Zone Lakeline, Austin's newest.
It'll be called out of bounds. It'll be an Aztec corner.
I've been impressed with Beto Garcia, captain for Midland. He box to box. He was just on the other end, connecting some passes, and then worked back and had a good slide tag against Justin.
And across middle from Cortez, headed out by Hume. This one shanked over into the away side. There you go, son. Thanks for coming. Thrown in by Alcala. Franz has it. Back to Alcala. Trying to find some space here in the 36th minute. Right over to Roca in the center. Sion, right side. Cuero in the middle. Left over to Chewy. Trying to find some space. Gets on the baseline out the right. Right across the middle, and he's going to be out of bounds. They'll call it. And Clint Long will have a shot to crack this one back into the Aztecs
don't forget the opportunity to take flight with Aeromar on the Aztecs.
A lot of pressure on this offense has gone towards Cortez on the left side. Trying to let that run through him. Cito has tried to find some space on the right end. But the Humes have been quite a nuisance on the defensive end, especially on those corners.
Yeah, they sure have. And Midland's doing a good job. I mean, they know, listen, Adam Black, Cito Sion, and Chewy Cortez are fantastic power three attacking players that any team would love to have. And Midland knows that, and they're trying to defend it very, very well and being cautious and not diving in. And right there, we just saw the defender not let Chewy come inside, and he gave him the byline, and then he used his body to get in front of Chewy. So it's, but at least Chewy's getting in the box and taking people one-on-one. You can never be upset if someone losing the ball in that situation. That's when you want someone to be greedy. So well done by Chewy, but ball just got a little away from him, and yeah, Midland's played well.
And put it over to Cito. Cito trying to get over to it. Gains possession. He's had a frustrating first half, not a lot of space for him. Loose across in the middle, over to Cortez in the middle.
And right there, you
right
see
back
it.
into his head.
Stepping up and winning challenges when they can. Midland sitting in, but when they have to win challenges, they are. And so that's tough for an Austin team with a lot of skill and not too much height, in all honesty, to break them down. You know, it looks like Midland's a bit more physical and Austin's a bit more technical, and so it's going to turn into exactly what we're seeing, where Austin has 75% of the possession, maybe. But you're going to have to earn your gold tonight, that's for sure, Brooks.
And on the right side, Cito, not with a lot of space. Any space that they have really seems to be going on Chewy's end. Is that part of the game plan as it appears?
You know what? It just goes to happen sometimes in soccer where one side just gets more space. Josh Akala has touched the ball maybe 20, 30 more times more than Cruz, and that's not Cruz's fault. It's just the game's opening up where the left side of the field seems to be very open. And Chewy's pretty much on an island with that outside back, which is what you want. You want Chewy one-on-one with people because he's got the technical ability to take him. But, you know, credit to Midland for not letting Chewy run wild.
Beto on the right end, trying to find some extra space in the 38th minute. One-on-one with Golden. Right side, tap over the left side. Left foot across the middle, headed away over to Cuero. Cuero's got it. The Aztecs defense comes up. And trying to lead it over just a bit wide towards Adam Black.
Adam turned his head to run forward, and Tony didn't know if he was checking him or running long, plays the ball over the top, and just different wavelengths right now. So
the fast break broken up. Cross middle, trying to gain possession. Call a foul. A little quarrel. But Cito will have it.
Sorry, like we mentioned, you know, look at Josh. His space is kind of opening up all the time, and you know, this left side seems to be pretty open. Looks like Cito's going to put this ball in the box here, but is it for our best play? I don't know. Walker's a big boy back there.
And this one loosed across the middle, headed over on the right side, just a bit wide. Crowd takes a gasp. And Clinton Long will have a shot at it. And it will be an Aztec corner on the right side for Cito Sion. We'll see if the Humes continue their notoriety on the defensive end.
And Brooks, that's why this is the best city in the country. We have a fan here who's got an incredible mohawk a couple seats down.
Loosed across the middle, over on the left end. A little wide, goes across right into the hands of Clint Long off the foot of Kalen Ryden. They came close on the last couple, went middle. That time they tried far side left, and no corners have produced any goals for the Aztecs. As we are into the 41st minute, just nearing halftime. Knowles going after it.
Yeah, and the ref's going to let things go. Credit to Josh to keep playing.
Alcala, left side. Tap back to Alcala, booted away by Pena.
That's Beto tracking back. I mean, he's been fantastic for Midland, and you know, I'd love to see one of our midfielders challenge him.
Beto, one of the many players from Grand Canyon University, along with Jordan Slack. Beto was the Rookie of the Year in 2013.
Yeah, it makes sense. So it sounds like he's a young kid and he's got a lot of potential. Also, you know, to be a rookie and have the armband for Midland, what I like about what Matt Barnes is doing when you're a new coach is he's shaking things up. Like you said, everything's fresh, new players, new organization. Humes brothers are in, new logos it looks like, new jerseys. And right now they've got the energy and the momentum's in their court. And, you know, it just needs a goal from Austin to completely change the swing of things.
And across the middle. Knowles has it on the right end. Hume on the left side. Slide tackle from Golden. And no stoppage of play as Oronas comes over towards the middle.
Bad mistake by Rory. He did well to get the ball, and all of a sudden he just didn't play Tucker in.
And out of bounds towards the Aztecs end. They'll get a chance to produce some offense. 43 minutes in, 2 minutes away from halftime. No extra time declared yet. Roca in the middle. Tapped over to Cuero. Fakes a pass across the middle. Right foot over the goal and into the scoreboard from Cortez.
It was never going in, but great contact by Chewy coming inside, and that's why Coach Manuel has those. Chewy is a right footer playing on the left wing, and Cito's a left footer playing on the right wing, and that's the new thing in soccer now, is to put the opposite. So growing up, a left footer would be on the left wing and a right footer would be on the right wing, but now you want to cut in and have those shots. So that's what you want to see. Chewy let that one get a little bit away from him, but he hits it well. It obviously goes well over the bar, but good job for him to at least be aggressive and get his shots in and start getting acclimated to this game.
Opportunity on the right, and as they chase after towards it, Perales will pick it up. They try to give and go, and they went for the fake on that end, getting across the middle. With the right foot of Cortez, just a little high. But the offensive opportunities are there.
Oh, yeah.
In the second half, Quintella will have a little bit to talk about at halftime.
Yeah, and that's why I can see Coach Manny not being that upset at halftime, because this is definitely a winnable game. I mean, it absolutely is. I mean, Tony's got the ball with no pressure on him, 35 yards out.
And Franz with it over to Cortez on the left side. Kicks back over in the right end. Trying to find some space with it. Gets over across past Black, and it goes right back into the foot of Cuero, trying to get over to it, and it is batted away into the Aztecs end as we reached 44 and 30 seconds in the first half.
Halftime starts. So
and you talk about Chewy being a right footer, seems like on that end it's really playing to his disadvantage. He'd like to go to the left side, but they are covering him on that right end. Whenever you come into that, how do you counteract at that point whenever they're cutting you off in the middle?
Yeah, and so what you do then is Chewy's, when I say right footer, obviously that's probably his foot of choice, but he's so technically capable of using his left. And what you do is they don't give you the inside. You cut it down and go byline, and you do a cross right across the box, and you hope Tony Roca or Justin Franz or Adam Black is bombing in the box and can get a tap in. So that's exactly what you do.
And Black loosed across the middle, just a little high and away. Franz looking to try and get ahead on it, can't. And it will be soccer ball. We have reached the 45th minute. Note there is a bit of extra time. We've added 1 minute of extra time. Long awaits his kick. Across the middle. Picked up along the way. Fighting for it is Franz. On the left side, back to Roca across the middle. And a ricochet over to Cortez on the left side. Leads himself on the left end, overcomes Hume to get after it, and he bats it back. Chewy across the middle. Back to Chewy. Right foot into the waiting arms of Clint Long. And that just might be their last offensive opportunity of the half. Cortez has had about 3 shots on goal in this first half. Only one of them a clean breakaway. Ronos in onto Cuero. Cuero getting after it. Knowles leads it up to Hume. Stolen away by Roca to Sion at midfield. Right side tries to bring it back into the middle. Loosed up to Black. Black racing over against Hume. Right foot, left side, wide.
And Brooks, that would have been demoralizing if Austin would have snuck a late one in there and got a goal, because, like I mentioned last week, the worst thing in soccer for any team is to give up a goal in the first 10 minutes of the game and the last 10 minutes of the game, and then either 10 of halftime. So right now, Coach Barnes might have had a small heart attack when he saw Adam Black ripping that one, because the last thing they want is for Austin to score a late one in and go into halftime 1-1, but as it ends out, it's 1-0.
Black had a nice shot at right foot, just a bit wide. That has been the tail of the tape for the Austin Aztecs. A couple of opportunities in the first half. An offsides call took away a goal that would have tied up the game. That's Instead, the Sockers have their first lead against the Austin Aztecs this season. And the Aztecs are facing a 1-0 deficit going into the half.
And I love this game. They're doing the paper airplanes again. See who gets that flight to Mexico.
Did no one win it last time?
This is for the second flight.
Oh, okay. All right.
This is for the return.
See, this
leg.
could have been, like, last week could have been you. And this week could have been...
Could have been you.
Hi, how are ya?
Oh, well, I was going to say... I mean,
well, this is for the return leg. So
right.
Whoever last week someone just got a flight to
You guys seem
Mexico.
to have a slower start on offense than what we're used to seeing here at House Park, obviously. What do you think you're going to tell your guys they need to improve on in order to get the win at the end of this game?
I think at this point in time, we're just being a little bit tense, not patient enough, on the ball, and we're trying to force a lot of our plays in there. So I think, maybe our speed of play needs to be a little bit better and a little bit more patience.
And then what do you think this Midland team is doing that is making them so hard to score against right now?
It's always a feather in their caps whenever they can knock off someone that's is at the top of the table, someone that's won a national championship. But there's still 45 minutes to play, so we'll see.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you. Wish you best of luck in the next half. Thank you. And Brooks, back to you at the booth.
all right, thank you, Shelby. As we had our interview with Buentello as they go into the half, down 1-0. Obviously on this end, trying to get some opportunities on the offensive end. They've got some chances from Chewy on the left side. Try to open up some things from the defense, from the Sockers. But down 1-0 going into the second half. Just what do you think the Aztecs need to do in order to come back into this one?
Well, I think a couple things. I think Austin needs to have some people, whether it be our captain Andres or Devin Cook or Josh Akala, where we, we look around and we say, guys, let's get after it. And Zach Pope used to be that player last year, but obviously he's taken the assistant coaching position. So we need some leaders to step in and say, hey, this is a good team, and we can't just get away completely with being technical. We've got to get physical, and we've got to be hungry.
7, 6, 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's it, fans. Thank you for your participation with the Austin Aztecs and their newest sponsor, Airmall.
To the Sockers. We talked a little bit about how they should play in the second half. Got a chance to listen to Buentello. Just your take on the second half.
Yeah, so like I said, they need to come out with a lot more energy. I think Austin is very, very technical. We know that. We know the way we play. But a great quote, and even Coach Paul Daglish used to say this, is, hard work is going to beat talent unless talent works hard. And that definitely equates to this game. Is we've got the talent with Chewy, Andres, Hito, Tony Roca up top. We just need to get after it, get stuck in, be physical, get after them, get some tackles in, and reward these home fans that have come out and watched this game.
Well, coming back in right before the game, Buentello said they couldn't underestimate this team. They've got a lot of talent coming from lots of different colleges. It's a completely new regime for the Sockers team.
Again, congratulations.
They were just talent that was waiting to wake up, and that's what has happened so far. And coming back into this one, a lot of the offense went through Cortez on the left end, trying to get over on that side. Cito on the right end, trying to get some space, but he just can't. And the Hume brothers, I mean, Walker has been just such a nuisance on the near side, on all of the corner kicks, everything from that end. How do you deal with the height of the Humes if you can't get something open on your corner kicks? Where do you go after that?
Well, great point. First off, on corners to mark them, you need a body. So if someone is taller than you, you make sure you're on their hips. So when they go up, it's not a foul, but you make sure you're cutting that off. Secondly, how you get away from height, going against Walker at the back is, since he's such a big boy, you try to pull him out of position. You get a 1-2 around him, and Cito and Chewy can have a goal on target. But also, this is a huge time for Austin. It's a learning curve, and the fact that we are the reigning champions, of the PDL, and there's going to be teams like Midland that come out here and they say, Brooks, we don't care if we lose because we should lose this game. So let's bomb forward. Let's have a fun time. Let's have a go. And I think Coach Manny's going to tell them, guys, stick to the plan. Relax. All we need is get our first goal. This game's going to open wide on up. But you need that first goal.
Right. And before this season started, you mentioned how teams that are supposed to lose a game can come in and play freely, almost on that end. But being a defending champion, on that end, Cito Sion before the season said it's hard to come back with the mentality to win again and defend your title. I mean, whenever you go on that end, just whenever you face teams that you should beat, this can even go back to the North Texas Riotos game in the first round of the U.S. Cup Open, where they lost in a game that they should have won.
Absolutely.
So in these games, how do you turn this around? Is it a mental factor? Do you go back? Is it one player have to do that? How do you turn that mentality around?
Like I said, Zach Pope was the guy last year in the locker room and the year before that when I was playing, where he'd grab everyone and say, guys, let's get after it. Let's get stuck in. Let's raise our intensity. Our skill's there, but let's just make it a little bit quicker. Instead of taking 3 touches, can we take 2? Instead of taking 2 touches, can we take 1? So we're looking for that leadership. Andres Cuero definitely has it. Devin Cook definitely has it. Tony Roca definitely has it. But we need Austin just to win every 50-50 ball in the second half. We need them to get hungry. We need them to get after it. And what you hope Coach Manny's going to be saying is you want to get an early goal. You want to get an early goal. And the next goal in this game is so important because think about it. If Midland gets all of a sudden a shocker goal, that's 2-0. It's 2-0 now that they're up. And now you're facing a big uphill climb. But if Austin comes out and can sneak a quick one early, you've got 35 more minutes where there's going to be some panic from the Midland side of the house. So to do a long-winded answer to your question, stay calm, pass the ball around, and slap the ball in the back of the net.
And what many Aztecs called the player who could speak and lead a team vocally, standing to my left now in the booth here, understanding on that end. But with this team coming in, they had those opportunities going in. The last couple of games that have not been against the Sockers, they've scored 5 goals.
Yeah.
What is the difference here between scoring 5 goals and not finding any space? I mean, you talked about it a little bit in the first half. Just coming on the left end, Cortez on the left side, Cito just across the middle. You have Roca in the middle. He seems to have some open shots sometimes, but the defense of the Sockers just always seemed to be there and ready for every shot. They tried a give and go. They tried faking a give and go. Is there anything left in the playbook, or do you just start throwing in the kitchen sink?
You don't throw the kitchen sink just yet. You've still got a lot of time. It's only 1-0 down, a ton of time. There's so much firepower on the offensive end that it's not just give and goes in their artillery. They've got combination plays. They've got crosses. They've got getting behind. They've got overlaps. They've just got long-range shots. They've got little tiki-taka soccer. So definitely don't throw the kitchen sink in. But it all comes down to that first goal. So you ask, how do you get in? A lot of times in soccer, it gets itchy when you don't have that first goal. You think, is it my night? Can I do this? Everything's going wide. Andres hits it on the bar. He's upset with himself. The minute that first goal comes for Austin, then they say, oh, that was it? We can do this. And what it does is it hurts Midland a little bit, and then the floodgates start opening. Let's say Cito gets one early. Now Adam Black says, I want mine. And Chewy says, okay, I can be a little bit more relaxed and swing freely. And now Tony Roca's in the mix. So we saw it last game where we got 1 and we got 5. Right. So, but we have to get that first one. And so staying calm, putting the pieces together, playing a little bit more quick, and then the composure to just finish off that chance.
And the Aztecs, 9 different players with goals on the roster. So the offensive firepower can come from anywhere.
From anywhere.
And from that end, it can come from a defensive player coming from the back end,
Absolutely.
like it happened last week. But missing on your end a player, Jeff Harwell, who led that attack for 5 goals in the second half. You are missing that player.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to find someone else from that end. Is that a guy like Travis Golden that can come back in and do that?
Yeah, it's tough that Jeff has an injury because he's someone that brings so much experience. I mean, he was a starter on the USL Pro team here for the Aztecs 3-4 years ago. So he's a smart player, and he's got incredible technical ability. But sliding Justin Franz in there is a fantastic replacement, if you will. So I don't think it just falls on the shoulders of, oh, Jeff's out, well, let's panic. There's so much, artistic ability, if you will. I mean, Cruz is playing outside back. That guy could play attacking center mid or forward. So that just goes to show you Travis Golden can score from 35 yards out with his foot. So the firepower is literally from anywhere. And like you mentioned, with so many people scoring, I think it just comes down to the fact that someone needs to muster up that ability to get the first one, and then it opens up. These are the points where it's important goals. It doesn't necessarily have to be the prettiest goal, Brooks. It's just get the ball in the back of the net, and then let's get this game going.
Right. So a lot of things going on in the locker room right now to try and plan the continuation of what has been an undefeated season in the regular season for USL PDL, not counting the U.S. Open Cup against the Rayados, but also on that U.S. Open, the Laredo Heat taking on the Houston Dynamo in a couple of weeks in June. Now, the Austin Aztecs, I had a chance to talk to Quintel and also David Markley, the owner of the team. It's a spot that they felt that they should have had a shot at, but losing to the Rayados. That U.S. Open, one of the oldest tournaments in the USA for sports, just whenever you see a team like the Laredo Heat coming out of the USL PDL going that far into the third round, just what does that mean from a PDL team standpoint? I mean, if you're looking at it from the MLS, you're just like, that's another team that we should beat.
You make a fantastic point. It pains me that we got out so early in that because, if I was playing, that's something that you would be so excited about. I mean, Laredo has a chance to play the Dynamo, to get after them. For maybe some of these players to get a look at from Dominic Kinnear and some of those coaches, and maybe when they graduate college, be picked up immediately from that. So I think we're definitely kicking ourselves. It would have been great if Houston was able to come here. It would have been fantastic. So that's something that's sad. It comes once a year. It's a great tournament. I had some friends that played for Fresno Fuego out in California in the PDL, and they ended up getting pretty far one year and playing some big teams and getting good exposure, which is what the city of Austin wants. So bit tough. I know David would want that. I know Coach Manny would want that, but you got to take your chances, and you got to beat the Rayados. So,
right, and the Rayados out in the second round after that did not move on into the third round, where the Laredo Heat are now against the Houston Dynamo. But in the USL PDL, talking with Markley in the first game, a lot of what the Player Development League is about is essentially in the name, player development. And moving on into those later rounds, you get that exposure against other teams, teams that you might try out for later on. They get to see you in action. So here, at this point, in the rest of this regular season, how do Aztecs players gain a little bit more exposure? Is it by going into those later rounds? How do you find that?
Well, you don't get. I mean, the U.S. Open Cup's come and gone, so we're out of that. You don't need to worry about that and get hung up on it. Would have been great to have MLS clubs here, us play against MLS clubs, of course. The fact that it's gone, believe me, Coach Manny's such an experienced coach. That's the bottom of the table in terms of prioritization. The big thing is the PDL Championship. I mean, that's the main focus, and that's always more of a precedent than the U.S. Open Cup. The U.S. Open Cup is just a cool thing with a little extra cup on the side, but where our boys get kind of their fame and get spotted is going farther and farther into the playoffs and winning the national championship. And by doing so well over the past 2 years, we've had multiple players go to the MLS playoffs. It's because it's simple. If you're an MLS coach and you say, hey, who won the PDL championship last year? The Austin Aztecs. Okay. They must have the most technical players, and it's a simple pickup. So that's where they get the exposure, is just focusing on these games at hand and focusing on teams like taking care of Midland.
Right. And you speak of the championship last season, the Austin Aztex winning that one, and the MVP of the league, and Chris Tierpak getting drafted in the MLS Super Draft. Now getting some playing time over at Real Salt Lake over on that.
He's with the Chivas in LA, and he actually just scored a goal on their reserve team, I believe, last week. So his first goal of the season. Chris is someone that is literally fantastic. The 2 years he was here, I mean, he just has a head for goal, and he's just sniffing around the box. Finished well with both feet. Headers incredibly. So I think he's going to have an absolutely fantastic career. And let's see who from the squad is going to make it next year. There's definitely some great candidates up there with Tony Roca and Devin Cook and you know, and a lot of other of those players. But we've got to get stuck in, and we need to win you know, our division first and foremost before we can even think of playoffs. Like Cito said, you don't want to think of playoffs. You don't want to think of championships. That is not the task at hand right now. The task at hand, of course, is to win a PDL championship, but you got to get first in the division in regular season first and foremost.
And we're just about 7 minutes away from the second half as the Austin Aztecs are down 1-0. We'll be back with you after a short break for the second half for more here on Texas Studio Television.
You're watching a live sports presentation of Texas Student Television.
Before the second half starts, the Aztecs would again like to take a moment to thank some of our sponsors. Emergo Group, the Aztecs title sponsor for the 2014 season. A global medical device and regulatory consulting company that is Austin-based, Austin proud, and crazy for Austin soccer. official supplier of Aztex Sportswear. Visit our online store at admiralsoccer.com. Select Physical Therapy. Be treated like the pros by the official athletic training and physical therapy provider for the Austin Aztecs. Oak Hill Printing, the official print partner of the Austin Aztecs. And Brunson Dental. Our goal is to make you smile. A reminder that parking in the ACC parking deck is always free. Fans, please visit tonight's vendors. Soccer City, your hometown soccer store. Univision Television, join the fun in Copa Univision, June 14th and 15th at Northeast Metropolitan Park. The Austin chapter of American Outlaws will support the U.S. national team in the World Cup 2014. United and strengthened. And Austin Sports Academy, play with passion. Train with intensity, live with confidence. And again, congratulations to our Austin Aztecs and Airmar halftime promotion winner, Green Brett.
Austin sitting right over by Houston. So really, that's it. Jeff. Okay, let's go.
Substitution for the Aztecs. Coming off, number 42, Justin Fraud. Coming off the ball, number 18, Alessi Osorio.
And welcome back to the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Right away from our second half here at House Park in Austin, Texas, as the Austin Aztecs are down 1-0 and have their undefeated regular season 3-0 in risk here tonight as the Midland Odessa Sockers have taken a 1-0 lead. They'll get the ball to start things off. We talked a lot about how the Austin Aztecs had a lot of shots on goal, a lot of opportunities on the offensive end, and even in between, we were chatting out, it just seemed so unlikely that the Aztecs would not score a goal in a game after scoring 2 5-goal games and then a 2-1 game against the Sockers earlier on, and even a 4-4 in the U.S. Open Cup against the Rayados.
Yeah. The word frustration just paints the entire picture. Coach Manny took Justin Franz out, and it's put in my good friend Alessi in there. It sounds like Alessi's going to be the one holding a lot of possession of the ball, letting Tony have a bit more of that artistic freedom to bomb on, and you already see Tony is right behind Adam Black. So look for Alessi to hold and spray the ball around, and for Tony to push up now.
And they have traded sides here as the Sockers are moving from right to left, the Aztecs left to right. And the Sockers are throwing in on the far side, out towards the middle, headed back over, just over the net for almost what was an opportunity for Cabral. Just couldn't get the right angle on it. And Perales will have an opportunity to send this one away, and off to Kalen Ryden.
And this is what it's all about, playing in Austin. This is the best PDL organization in the nation. Sold out, gorgeous stands tonight, and we're down 1-0, and it's all going to be about who's got the wherewithal and the not just the skill but the passion to get a goal and get us back in the mix here. So every player wants to get one tonight.
And Alessi in on the middle. Roca with it, taps back to Osorio, and tapped away by Hume. Slack with it. Heads over to Garcia. Beto one-on-one. Kicks it off the right end. Gains possession down the sideline. And booted out of bounds from Travis Golden. Stops the fast break in their tracks, but stays soccer ball. Headed back in towards the middle. Roca with it. Boosted over across the middle out of bounds.
I love how Cito stays so wide on this touchline. It's going to be nice watching him closely this half. How he drags that outside defender out, and it just it opens up play in the middle. And what it does is, you know, he's always open for that switch. But it's great to see an outside mid who hugs the touchline.
And Slack with it, all the way down to the opposite end to Tucker Hume, out of bounds. It'll be Aztecs ball. Thrown in from Alcala. Just across the backside. And he'll bat it back to Perales. Back to Ryden. Up on the top side to Golden. Over to Ryden. Tapped away on the right end. Cito trying to get on it. Aronos with it, back across the middle. Golden at the middle, trying to loose across the middle. Headed out by Cabral. And really this soccer defense just playing almost a come and do what you want on this side. We'll wait for you.
Yep. That's exactly what they're doing. There's pretty much, it's a pretty simple game. There's two types of pressure, high press. Ooh.
And a pressure, and another goal! Adam Black. Pressure? What pressure? As he goes in with the right foot to tie the game at 1-1. Sit and wonder no more. The Aztecs offense is not dead. It is surely alive.
I absolutely love it. Look at Austin. The fans are loving it. The team is just energetic, and you see Midland's devastated. The first 3 minutes of the second half, they've given up a goal. Austin wins it back, and we're going right down their throats again.
And the energy that you spoke one goal would give. Adam Black on the left side trying to get to it. Hume slides it out. What has been a lull of an offense and a defense, really a 2-4-4 back for the Sockers, just trying to play back on it in the zone. Got ahead of the back, and an awesome opportunity for Black to put it in the back of the net and tie things up.
Beto, the captain, looks like he's limping a little bit for Midland, so it looks like when stuff rains, it pours, and this is the time for Austin to grab another one when they have this energy.
And kicked out of bounds. This one's for the visiting fans. And it will be Aztecs ball. Aronos throws it in. You can feel the energy picked up on the team and the fan base. This ball thrown back in. And Hume with it across the middle, trying to find space. Wow. Great move off the left side. Tries to get a shot off, but can't. Back on it with the left foot and another slide. 2 shots for Hume, and he can't get to it. Fighting with it with Aronos, stays on his feet. Back over to Cabral. Loosed across the middle. Headed out by Alcala, and the defense stands strong.
My goodness, what a last fantastic ditch slide tackle from Travis coming in and saving the day.
And back on the right end for the Aztecs. Trying to loose it over, backing into the middle to Cuero.
And hasn't this game just picked up 10 times more energy? That's exactly what we needed. That first goal gets everyone going, and now everyone's spraying the ball around, and everyone's thinking positive.
Ooh, and a big slide coming from Pena, and down goes Cuero, and Cuero just holding his knee. That's a yellow card for Pena. That does not look good. As the training staff from the Aztecs comes out.
Number 11, Fabio Pena.
That's where knee injuries can sometimes occur with those dangerous slides. We'll hope that Cuero's all right to help him up. .51 minutes gone in the game.
That's all I needed, a little splash of water. He's back in it. Andres Cuero does not leave a game. That guy is an absolute fighter. Love playing with that guy. He is a workhorse.
And Perales on his end. Taps it over to Ryden.
And this is absolutely perfect now. Midland's still sitting back. We can still kind of hold the ball and keep it and do our possession. But now there's just more energy going forward, and here comes Tony again.
Roca up the middle. Loosed over to Cito on the right end. One-on-one. Left foot cross the middle into the hands of Long. Cito lets one fly from the right side. Quiet in the first half, gets his opportunity. Tries to sneak one in. Drop kick from Long. Across the middle. Ronos going after it. This one down the ramp on the visitors' end.
Yeah, we've got a great second half underway now. It's 1-1. Both teams have got that quench of water at halftime, and they're both hungry. Tackles are flying in, and people are getting aggressive, and it's going to be a good one.
And the pace is picked up for the Sockers as well, trying to get their first win against the Aztecs in history. Racing after it. Aztecs ball thrown in.
When Chewy goes down for a slide tackle, you know Austin's hungry.
And Roca back down to Aronis on the far side. Right foot up the way to Black. Black can't get on it. Stolen away. Quero with it in the middle. Tap over to Roca. Left side. Chewy with it now. Back to Roca. Trying to find some space in this 2-4-4. Chip shot. Header. Booted back into the Aztecs.
It's going to be tough with Big Walker back there to get that chip, but it worked the first go around when Walker all of a sudden stepped up or was out of position, and we were able to get behind him. But decent effort from Chewy, and Tony was making that run.
Used the pitch when he needed the sand wedge. Not something you're used to going up against 6'5".
Well, with my golf game, that would have just bumped and run on the ground. So,
well, mine might have scored a goal on the Aztecs end.
Gone backwards?
Yeah, it's amazing. We'll do it sometime. Aronos on this end. Right end. There's a reason why I'm sitting up here with you and not playing anywhere. Roca in the middle. Cortez going on the right end, trying to find it to Cito. Can't find the space. Back to Quero in the middle. Tap over on the left side. Black with it. Back to Roca. Chipped up, over. Quero chasing after it. Long will grab it.
The energy is just electrifying. You can kind of sense the panic even from up here that Midland's back line is facing, where they're just picking this guy, picking that guy. Players are switching around. The fans are getting behind it, and it looks like Austin's sniffing for another goal immediately.
And tapped on to Perales. Perales will pick it up. And the Sockers seem to place more of their focus on the defensive end with that 4-4 backing. Does that hurt you on the offensive end, not being able to get the jump on the defense in transition?
It sure does. Well, it's a different approach.
Loosed over to Black. Black takes it in the chest on the left side. Does say you got a hand on it, and they will call it.
It's a different approach, Brooks. There's two ways you can play the game. Is low pressure and try to beat someone on a counter, or get after it and high pressure and put the ball down and play. Mississippi didn't do that, didn't do low pressure and counter last game, and it got out of hand. Maybe Coach Matt Barnes is saying, listen, we know Austin can hurt us if we don't respect their offense, and so let's pack it in. Let's keep it physical. Let's have Walker barking commands in the back and getting stuck in, and then let's beat him on the counter with Tucker, which I can't say it's not a bad strategy, because they're making it tough for Austin to score. We've got so many weapons that if you play freely, a lot of times what it does is give Tony free reign and address Quero to just carve you apart. So you're exactly right. The strategy, it sounds like, that they're still doing, no matter what the score is going to be, is sit back and beat you on a counter. Now, if Midland goes a goal down, you're going to see this game open up, because now you have to go forward, right? But as of now, they're content with keeping it 1-1 and trying to get another one on the counter.
And Tucker trying to go after the ball. Can't come up with it. Or on the defensive end. Coming up with it now is Ricardo Yavarino. Goes out of bounds to Aztecs ball. But you mentioned Tucker getting some chances on the offensive end. He has struggled since putting on the Sockers uniform. 3 shots in his first game, none went in. Today, trying to get over on that left side, tried to get an open shot, just a bunch of slide tackles in his way, took away a shot at a goal. It's been frustrating for him on the offensive end.
Should he come back, or?
I mean, that's up to him.
Yeah, no, I was never a true forward. I played a little bit of in college, but the one thing every forward wants is when you go to a new club or you go to any new organization, you want to get the monkey off your back and you want to get your first goal. So I know Tucker wants that first one, but Austin's goal is to make sure that that doesn't happen, at least on tonight. He can get that first goal next game, right?
And Knowles coming after it, trying to keep the Aztecs going through. And it'll be called Aztecs way. Kick from Cito across the middle. Off the chest of Cortez and boot away from Walker. Headed back in by Golden. Chewy with it, coming across the middle. Black on the left side. Left foot all the way across. He'll be out of bounds, and Long will get a shot at him.
And that's what's so good about Austin is, not only is this organization run so well, but it's the soccer we play is so attractive. Tony does a back heel. Chewy gets the ball, spins the defender, hits it. Adam Black, his shot's well off, but just that combination, it's an exciting brand of soccer, and it's progressed. It doesn't matter who's coaching or how many years this club's going to be around for. The total football is what we do here.
And a pooch kick over to Tucker as he tried to hang on to it, and he's tripped up. They call it on Chris Clements. So Chris Clements, his first impact on the Aztecs is a foul. Welcome to the club. But Clements coming in this game after the injuries to Jeff Harwell.
Like you mentioned with offense, this is where Midland is going to try to have a go at Austin. It sounds like Austin's just a bit more probably technically sound than Midland, and so we're going to carve them apart with through the middle and playing. But set pieces is where Midland is going to be ruthless.
Pick off across the middle. Roca picks it up. Batted back towards midfield. Slack with it. Right foot across the middle. Headed out. And Byron Knowles with it. And back into the visitor end. Towards the Toddlers. Byron throws it in. Left side. Tapped out of bounds from Chris Clements.
Like I said, and this is what you don't want to give away, is set pieces. Travis did everything he could there. Just slipped off his shin guard, it looks like. But, again, Walker and Tucker are just so big in there that it's going to be tough no matter what the score is tonight, especially at 1-1. You don't want to be giving a set piece away.
Well, trying to keep it 1-1 as Mario Alvarez gets this left corner. Looses it up across the middle. Header. Back towards the goal, out of bounds. And Perales will take it.
And it's going to be an exciting half hour with stuff like that going on. I mean, we got 30 minutes left, and Austin's feeling it. Midland's pushing on for set pieces, and this is going to be some entertaining soccer. And the fact that both teams want to win. Midland's going to be upset if they lose or tie when they were up for so long, and Austin's going to be upset if they leave this place with only 1 or no points. So expect Austin to push on. We're not content with ties with anyone, especially on our home ground.
And Chewy trying to break the tie out the left side. In the corner, back over across the middle. Black trying to get to it, and it's batted back towards the way. Chewy with it. Back up to Cuero. Cuero trying to get a pass over to Aronos, but can't. It's booted back away from the Sockers into Aztecs territory. Flailing after. Up to Tucker. Tucker Hume on the right wing. Right foot. Oh, just wide.
Wow.
Tucker trying to get his first goal in the whites, but just couldn't get the right angle. As a collective gasp and sigh of relief from the Aztecs faithful.
Fantastic body on Travis, and he took a very neat first touch, and it was almost too pretty to be true. The whole thing went across across Devin and just went wide. But like you mentioned, I think that's their game plan. I think they hope Tucker sneaks one in on a counter.
Well, thrown in from the Sockers. In the middle, Tucker with it. Trips over. And they'll call it Aztec way. Gets a hand on it. Tucker, full of frustration, visible. As he has had 4 shots on the goal today, none have gone through.
You know, and give them credit. It's got to be tough. You know, they decided to go obviously for more playing time and you know what other reasons. But you know, it's got to be weird coming back to House Park and being on the visitor side. I don't even know what that thing looks like. You know, and walking out next to the Austin players that they know so well, and not even just the players, but the management and the people behind the scenes that know Walker and Tucker so well, and again, to be at House Park with a different color jersey.
And up comes Cortez on the left side, and it's pushed out the way and back towards the middle of the field.
Chewy makes a mistake there. He does everything right and just takes one extra touch. Brooks, right there, you just got to, if you're inside the box, you just got to hit it.
Finger held on the trigger there.
Absolutely.
Well, on Tucker's side of it, I mean, we talked about it at halftime. In the PDL, you're trying to be noticed.
Yep.
Makes a decision to try and be noticed.
Yep.
And this one loosed on the left side, just in front. Back towards the middle. Black going to it. And Byron Knowles just bats it away, taking any opportunity out of it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, there's no problem at all. I mean, Coach Manny's one of the most respectful guys out there, and he gave them, you know, their grace to go on and have a good career. And
right.
It's just upsetting because we like those boys.
Great
we want to see them
chest
here.
off from Walker. So it comes over to the only man on the soccer side with a goal. Back to Tucker in the middle, trying to get after it. Holding on to it with that long right leg. And Roker comes up with it. But what I mean is once you... Oh, Black with it now. Cross middle, they'll call a foul.
Fans didn't like that one, did they?
No. I can understand. Earlier in the first half, they've been letting those go. And Walker to Tucker. Quite a bit of range between the two. The Twins. 64th minute here in House Park, tied at 1-1 between the Aztecs and Sockers. But going back to what I mean, from those exposures, you know, you get your chance to come through. How frustrating it must be to finally get your shot in there, and you just can't do it. And to make things worse, it's front of fans that saw you come through. This one up to Cito, cross middle, left foot wide.
Talking about the Hume brothers, Walker comes up with an absolutely incredible slide tackle to just deflect that ball. Or actually, I'm sorry, it did go off Cito, but Cito must have shot it. Walker, you know, had the challenge and it went back off Cito. But you know, he's earning his keep out there tonight. The Hume brothers, they're working hard, and you know, Walker's really boosted that back line. And if he's not there, I don't know how much more. You know, Austin probably puts a lot more past Midland right now.
That was the best shot Cito's had today. Running across the middle, and you mentioned it. Just the unrelentless effort by Walker. Byron kicking out towards the Aztecs' way, fighting for possession. Got it. Right foot off the Aztec, just wide as Perales tips it away.
You don't realize how close that absolutely was. Devin was wrong-footed because it was a wicked, wicked deflection, and it nearly trickled into the back of the net. And we've been saying it all night. That's what Midland's doing. They're not going to beat you with possession or putting the ball on the ground. They lumped it forward to a very strong forward, pushed around Travis McCallan there, and had a shot that was deflected and barely missed.
And the corner across the middle. Tucker up with it. And header back towards Adam Black, and he'll loose it towards the midfield.
Look at Chewy put on the engines. Wow.
Oh, and he's got it one-on-one with Clint Long. Who will get it? Long will. Into the stands as fans got on their feet for the race of the night.
Oh, and the ref just kills the energy with a Coach Manny didn't realize what was happening, or Bubba was already up there, but could have had a quick throw in. And this is interesting. Cito coming off. He's one of the most technical, players, but maybe he's run too much tonight and he's lost a little bit of steam. I think he would have definitely been able to get us a goal, but fresh legs might be the trick, Brooks.
Well, Cito comes off, and a long-awaited moment for Bubba Joe.
This is actually the famous Kukuda, one of his best buddies from the homeland, and Bubba is absolutely fantastic. Kukuda said that growing up, scouts and players would say he was actually the better of the two. Kukuda was probably the best person, him and Chris Tierpak, to don an Aztecs jersey. He was absolutely electrifying when I played with him that one year, and he's been fantastic for Vancouver. But it's great to see a good friend of Kukuda back on the field.
And trying right away to make his impact. As Soccer steal it away. Golden heads it back towards the middle. Heads again. And Nibs with it now, trying to get on it. Fighting for possession with Cuero. And Pena will just come over and loose it back in, out of bounds. Ronos at the middle.
And if Kukuda can vouch for you, you're a good player. Let's just say that.
Well, we've seen a lot of young talent come in that are unfamiliar to the Aztecs. Last week, Eddie Campbell coming in with a goal. Here late.
Well, Eddie was actually, funny enough, he played with the Aztecs about 5 years ago. So he was one of those that, not in recent times has played with the Aztecs, but he's somewhat familiar. But I know what you mean. There's definitely new faces. And what I love about what this program is doing is we're keeping old faces around for that kind of, first off, because they're good and they are gelling together. But then it's always good at bringing new faces. I mean, the old guard is Devin Cook, Tony Roca, Travis. It's great to see him. Justin Franz, Andres Cuero is coming back to back. Zach Pope ends up turning to our assistant coach after being our captain. Josh Alcala, and then the new faces are Cruz and Adam Black, who's been fantastic. And like you said, a couple of those players coming off the bench.
And Black going one-on-one against Knowles. She goes out of bounds. And Black actually coming across the middle, thrown in from the Sockers.
And Kalen's also a great addition as well. He fits well in with Travis being...
And on the right side, here comes another opportunity on the right end. Right foot, hesitation, back towards Tucker. Lose the shot and bat it away.
Could have put it on a nicer plate for him, could have. Rolls it back to the top of the 18 for Tucker. And it's just not going for him tonight, is it?
And Cuero got in the way of it. Here comes another one towards Tucker. Loose back into the ref. Fabio with it. Fighting for possession. Bear crawling over it. It'll be a foul on the Aztecs. Tucker thought he might have had an open shot on that one, tried to get it back towards the offensive way. Passed it over to Fabio Pena. But they're trying their best to take the lead here in the 70th minute of this game. Tied 1-1. And Fabio Pena up on the right side. With the spot kick. Looses it. Across the middle. Over comes Walker. Headed out by Golden. It will remain soccer ball, however. But the Sockers want to win this one badly. Sitting at 4th place with 1 win, 2 losses, and a tie. And you mentioned it. The USL PDL season, it's short. A win, 3 points against the top team in your division would be huge.
Oh, it'd be huge.
Cross middle header, fighting for possession on the right side. Goulbourne with it, back towards the middle to Slack. All the way out in the right end.
Oh, wow.
Into the knee of Walker Hume. And Arono says no. Back out to Spajic. And then Ryan trying to get a leg on it out towards the middle. Tony Roca with it at midfield. Player down in the backfield, but play continues. Back up. Job trying to get his foot on it, and it comes back towards the Sockers. And they will call time. As it seems Travis, well, we'll get a number soon. It's down.
I think it's Kalen. But you make a fantastic point. It's a huge motivation for Midland to steal some points here. I mean, if you can take down the top team, it's massive because it puts less pressure on the other games you have. And also, I remember from my college days, there's two types of road trips you can have: a pleasant one home and a bad one home. And I don't know how many exact hours it is from Austin to Midland, but it's not just a small road trip.
No.
It's a long, exhausting one. So you want to go home happy. And they're putting up a fight. Give them credit. It's 72 minutes. We've only got about 20 minutes left, and we're 1-1. I don't think we would have thought we would have been here. But Coach Manny said himself, you can't underestimate a team. They got a very early goal. They've been able to be very physical and aggressive. And we've had our chances. We just haven't been able to execute every single one. Adam Black had a great finish. And also give credit to Midland. After Austin scored, there was a bit of that, you felt that energy in the crowd, right? Everyone was about it. Everyone was excited. That was the time for Austin to get a second one.
Sockers sucked that out.
They sucked it out. They absolutely did. And they neutralized it. And you can kind of see it now. It's gone a bit quiet. And we've only got 17 minutes left. So it really needs to kind of spice back up. They really need to get everything going and get the energy back into it, or else it's going to be a tie. And that's,
Alessi Osorio.
Alessi, that's right.
The man down on the play. Helped up. Looks like he's going to be okay.
You also want Alessi to stay in because he's just coming in for the second half. So to substitute him, and now you're pretty much throwing, three players for the defensive central mid position. You want your subs to come in to be maybe more for the attacking players, because those are the players that might need some more fresh energy and legs and just a different angle. A lot of times substitutions are always your attacking players, because your defenders can stay in there and do their job. It's the attacking players that maybe switching them around presents a different a different situation altogether for the Midland.
Travis Golden and Chris Clements back into the game.
Tonight's attendance,
that break seems like that'll extend some extra time towards the end of it. Possibly a 5-minute extension, the longest for the season. Travis Golden with it. Kicks it down into Clements. Clements trying to make his mark. His first time in an Aztecs uniform. Added just this week.
Oh, wow. Quick pickup.
Over to Osorio. Coronos. Boosted in the right side. Walker. Pushing it towards midfield. Racing over to it, trying to get to it, and it'll be out of bounds off the Aztecs. 75 minutes into the game. Tied up here, thrown in from Ante Spajic. One of Matt Barnes' backbones as it's headed out of bounds, remains soccer ball. Thrown in as they meticulously move down the field. Out of bounds with Tucker. That's going to go Aztecs' way. Frustration continues.
It sure does.
For him.
And you want to see Adam Black and Chewy and Tony get more touches. They've gone a bit silent this second half. Let's see if something can happen here.
Well, over comes Job across the middle, and just a little too wide of a pass. Midfield now.
There's that technique from Alessi. Great control, touch. Giving out to Andres, and we're going again.
Roca trying to get on to it. Knowles with it across the middle. Back over to Nibs. Nibs pushes it forward. Seeing the speed of Job coming off the left side to go up and challenge Byron. Left foot from Byron across the middle. Out the right side. Tucker chases it down in the right corner.
Couldn't have asked for a prettier ball there. I think Tucker was just in a bit of a bad spot and wasn't able to get a header on that, but great cross.
And a bat up headed out towards midfield. Over comes Walker in the chest. Right foot, taps it over to Tucker, too far, into the stands.
Whoa.
Right off the head of a fan. Hello.
Everyone's got to be ready, right?
Hey, that's true. I think he took the technique of soccer. I mean, you know a true fan, whenever they don't try and grab it, they head it back.
Head it back, absolutely.
That's how it works. And Chewy with it out the right side to Black. Black left foot out towards the middle. Back into Chewy's chest, right side. Job with the left foot over, and Walker says, nice try, but goodbye.
Booba was in the did all the right things to get in that spot with a great run. It comes to on his left foot, and he just kind of squanders it, hits into the ground and all that stuff. Great positioning, but just a little off there.
And Chewy will have the left corner.
Substitution Aztecs. Coming off, number 8.
One time a coach told me it's not a scary thing if you're a forward and you're missing goals. It's a scary thing if you're not getting chances.
Number 14.
Meaning if you're not getting chances, you're not playing the position right. You're not doing the right runs. You're not sniffing the right areas. You're not putting yourself in the correct position to get a goal. Missing chances is just keeping your composure.
And the chance on this side goes out. Danny Riley subbing in for Adam Black. They'll go out of bounds off his leg.
And I like that sub. I think Danny Riley's a fantastic player from England, plays at St. Ed's here locally. He's reminds me of Callum Riley, who played with me 2 years ago here. He's a great person to bring in when the legs are tired because he's incredibly quick and pacey, and a lot of people don't know that. And he can put the ball in the back of the net. So good sub. I think what it shows from Coach Manny is he wants to win, which is what you expect. And Danny Riley's a fantastic sub right now, and I think he's going to put some good pressure.
A chance over here coming on the right side. Yavarino, and he's going to be tripped up. They're going to call a foul.
Uh-oh.
Will it be a card? Yes. Yellow, and then keeps that in his pocket. Almost looked like he was reaching for a red.
Yep, that was surprising because I didn't think it was a foul, and if you're going to call it a foul, then maybe it is a red there because it was the last man. I thought it was a clean tackle, so I thought it should have been no card. He ends up going with a yellow, so it was a kind of unusual thing. But yeah, you're right. I was thinking for a second he's not going to pull out a red, is he?
Certainly seemed like it, but a slide coming in against Ricardo Yavarino. As the Aztecs training staff comes over to check him out, he's helped himself up. Appears to be okay. But they'll drop it on the left hash, about 45 feet from the net.
And he's a bit upset. The training staff has come on the field, and he said, no, I'm fine, but now you've actually got to come off in soccer rules if the training staff comes onto the field, and then he can check back in. So Midland does have a player down for just a short bit.
Well, you can almost call that a home team advantage. Send the trainers in every time. And here comes Walker right across the way. Over comes Perales, up with the hands and takes it in. Both Humes struggling to get the ball in the back of the net. 5 combined shots. Chewy across the middle. Tap over the right side. Joe.
Go on, Booba.
On the right side. Back towards the middle. Left foot. Out to Chewy. Just wide. Can't get onto it. Is Roca, and it's out of bounds. Could Booba had a more wide open way on the right side, but he tries to take it back middle.
No, you're right. I think if he wants to cut it back middle, he's got to make a better pass and lead Chewy, place it behind him, something you never want to do on a fast break. But you're right. Maybe Booba should go right at the defender, one-on-one, and use that incredible speed he's got and get around him and be a bit more selfish. But tough play there because he wanted to help out his friend Chewy, but he played the ball behind him. Never a good sign.
And towards the middle. Is that a little sign of perhaps some nervousness in your first appearance?
Yeah, a little bit of rust. You come out here, and he's never played at House Park, I think, in front of these fans, and he's been gelling with the team, and he's a great player, but just a little bit of rust. He's come on as a sub, and that's always the situation with that.
The middle's on the right side. Tapped over to Tucker. Sliding over to it. Oh, just a bit wide. Perales comes over and almost gives a heart attack to the entire home field.
Tucker is really having a tough time putting the ball in the back of the net tonight. I mean, that was in the 6 there. Devin comes out or goes down. It was a quick play and just flicks it wide. And you know, fortunate for Austin, it's not looking like it's Tucker's night, which is a good thing for Blue.
Well, in the 82nd minute, still tied up despite all of the Humes' efforts to try and bring this one back to Midland. Towards the middle. Cortez with it, Roca in the middle, taps it over to Cuero. Back to Roca. Luce is on the left side. Trying to find some space, provides it. Back towards the middle, Hume taps it back. And it remains in the possession of the Sockers. Back on the left side, picked up by Roca. Coming over is Chewy, tapped away. And Buba comes on with it. Left side, taps it forward. Back to him, right foot, shot, deflected. Shot again, wide. And Buba Job wanted it bad that time, making up for what he had just a few minutes ago. Attacking across the middle with the left foot, just could not find an opening. And it feels a lot more like the first half now.
And I think we're kind of starting to see that kitchen sink being thrown around.
And across the middle, picked up by the Aztecs, into the chest. Cuero picks up on it, heads it back over to Roca, to Joe. Back to Roca, taps it to Aronos. Giving some time to think, loose it out, all the way out. Long Hail Mary out to Cortez, and it'll sail out of bounds.
I love that ball.
And a pitch out towards midfield. And Clements with it. Taps it over to Aronos. Back to Clements. Golden on the left side. Midfield now. 84 minutes gone in this one. Still tied 1-1. Slipping, trying to get ahead on it. Coming over is Cuero. Cuero at the middle, sliding over it. Didn't get the ball. They won't call a foul. Over to Tucker. Tucker gets one man down. One-on-one. Out on the right side. Gets a nice step. Tries to tap it forward, but up from behind comes Roca and steals it away. Into the foot of Perales, and he sends it to the middle to Joe. Tremendous defensive effort from Roca to stop what could have been the game's second goal for the Sockers and just might have been a win. Nibbles with it now in the middle. Trying to find some space, sliding over is Aronos. Nibbles leaps over. One-on-one on the left side. Tap on the right. Right forward, and he's shoved. Shot by Osorio. And I believe that's a fair call. If it had been maybe a few more feet, that just might be a penalty shot. And Fabio Pena will take this one from the left side. Joe alone in the middle. 85 minutes gone, tied 1-1. Could this be the lead? Right foot right into the Aztecs. They say no. Tapped across the middle. Headed out. Bicycle kick from Chewy, out of bounds. A little more show than effectiveness, but it got the job done.
Chewy can't do anything wrong. He's the people's champ of the fans' favorites.
With a name like Chewy, I'm surprised that he hasn't picked up any sponsorships on his own.
Oh, absolutely.
Out of bounds, it'll remain Soccer's ball. It'll be a corner. They'll send Fabio out.
Famous Chewy's Tex-Mex here in Austin.
Yeah.
Set that up. And like I said, Brooks, this is where Midland's pushing for it. It's 86th minute gone, and they're being so aggressive, aren't they? I mean, they're getting in the box, and you'd think Austin's going to have all the possession now, and we're the ones defending corners. So let's see how this plays out.
And corner for Fabio. Lets it loose. Short, headed over, batted away. Job with it now.
You just got to take off, Booba.
Tries a little juke move. Gets out on the right side. A lot of feet, but he did not know that in his backside Alvarez was coming through as he was showing off a little bit of his moves with his feet. And loses it away to the out of bounds. With a quick feat of a tap dancer almost.
Yeah. And Travis senses the time that we need to go long with this ball.
Sends it long. Back into Cuero. Cuero trying to go after it. Can't get to it. Midfield now. Headed by Clements. Golden. See if he'll send another one. He does. Towards the middle. Just a little too far out of the reach of Riley. And loose back. They'll let it roll back to Perales. 88th minute here. Time ticking. Surely some extra time as we've had a lot of injury timeouts. Job comes over. He's across the middle. Riley with him. Motioning him over to get out the way. Ronas with it. Oh, and just under his foot. As my old coach would say, keep your eye on the ball.
Absolutely.
Lets it go past him. What might have been an opportunity for the Aztecs turns soccer way.
Same thing happens with flicks, ball rolling under your leg and all that stuff. The first thing is keeping your eye on the ball and getting that touch. Cruz was just a little bit hungry and aggressive to get it going. It slips under his foot, but you know, we're not looking at too much time here left, Brooks. It's been exciting, but this looks like it's ending in a tie unless something special happens.
Well, in the middle, Nick Eddington.
And it looks like Tucker's coming off.
And it does appear that Tucker has finished his night in Austin.
Substitution soccer coming on. Number 14, Tucker Hughes. Coming on, number 9.
The shot goes right into Perales' hands. He'll take it.
I'm surprised about the Tucker substitution. I think he was, yes, he wasn't scoring, but he was banging some bodies back there and putting Midland in decent positions. But for a big man, and I know it all too well, I think sometimes the steam runs out, and he might not have had any left in the tank.
Well, he had plenty in this game with 4 shots on the goal, seemingly opportunities just frustrating the entire way, trying to get one in. Not the night that he had hoped for, but definitely showing some effort on his end that have given, I mean, as you said, as you were coached, getting the opportunities is key, and he certainly had that on left end. Fouls can be called as Riley was a little bit too anxious on that left side and gets the shove.
And sometimes that happens when you're a big boy playing up top. You're maybe not necessarily going to be the most prolific goal scorer, but that work ethic and that holding the ball up for other people and getting headers in the vicinity of other ensuing attacking center mids is a huge thing that Tucker brings. So even though he's playing for the white team, I can say I think he had a really good game tonight. Would he have wanted a goal? Of course he would have wanted. Should he have got one? Yeah, he probably could have. But I mean, I think you can ask the center backs that played against him tonight. He really exhausted them today.
And Joe off the right foot, up and over. It'll be soccer ball. We have reached the 90th minute in extra time. Will it end in a tie?
It's looking like it, isn't it? I mean, Austin's looking tired. Pretty much right after that goal, we never really had too many other chances after that, did we?
After that, the defense tightened from the soccer end, definitely. And Job's substitution has led to a few more opportunities. Here comes another one.
Here we go.
Over to Chewy. Chewy on the left end, trying to tap it over. Gets it over to Cito on the right end. Comes back and tapped away up in the sky. Coming over to it, headed back into Roca. Roca with it, right foot. Leads it to Job. Shot from... Aztecs in extra time take the lead 2-1. A yellow card is given to Chewy Cortez for taking off his jersey, but my goodness. The excitement.
Aztecs goal scored by number 13, Chewy Cortez.
You talked about it.
Wow. That was literally amazing. You could not have scripted up a better play. Chewy rifles an upper 90 half volley 25 yards out in stoppage time, the people's champ himself, to win this game. I mean, you literally can't ask for more excitement or a better play than that. And Tony wants more.
Tony trying to get on the left side, in the corner, taps it back out to Chewy. Chewy over it into Joe. Just toying with it on the right side. Loses it. And Knowles coming after it. In desperation mode for the Sockers, who thought they had a tie. With Chewy disrupted the whole evening. We're just waiting for the signal out from the referee. Sliding over. Wide shot for Nibbles. Over the net. Wide open, and he holds his hand to his face. He can't believe it. Neither can I. A wide open shot on the west side. Too high. And the score remains 2-1 Aztecs.
I mean, can you ask for a better game? The excitement is unbelievable. The House Park is rocking. I mean, Chewy rips a upper 90 goal, and it just destroys Midland, who've worked so hard in this game. Thought they were going to win, thought they were going to tie, and lost.
It's over here in House Park. Been a heck of a game. The best game so far for the Aztecs as they win in the same score as before, but in much more dramatic fashion. Chewy Cortez comes in extra time to be the Austin hero with a 20-foot shot that ricocheted off defenders and streaked into the back of the net to give the Aztecs their 4th win, their 12th point, and they remain at the top of the Mid-South Division. Could you have asked for a better game?
It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. I mean, that's why we're drawn to this sport. That's what you go to bed the night before the game, you dream. I want to be the guy who makes the game winner. Because the difference between scoring a goal and scoring the goal, and I'm telling you, Chewy's going to be over the moon tonight. It just couldn't have been set up any better. Hits it on the half volley, and it's such a good environment, game, goal, the whole works. And what it shows the young children out there watching is it's a cruel game. You know, if you're Midland, can't give a goal away at the closing minutes, no matter how good the goal is. You just can't do it. Credit to Austin, because what it also shows the young ones, if they're watching, you got to keep going. Ride the course, stay patient, don't panic, and you might just get a goal in the last closing seconds if you do so.
A lot of lessons learned tonight. The Sockers learned a tough one coming up against the top team in the division as they gave it everything they had. The Huge wins combined for 6 shots, none go through. But what looked like what was going to be a tie goes into extra time. And the frustrating offense from the Aztecs turns into pure elation off the foot of Chewy Cortez to win it in the most dramatic fashion possible.
I mean, someone made this out of a storybook. I mean, Chewy, of all people, had a bit of a quiet second half and just comes out of nowhere and just absolutely rips one. And it's amazing. And it's fair play to these fans for sticking around and being so patient. And guess what? You know, they've paid their money to come to these games and sell out 2,000 seats here. And we get a goal last second. Now, keep in mind, regular season, it doesn't go to extra time or shootout. This would have ended in a tie, and no one wants to see that. Chewy hits one and saves the day and continues having that reputation of being the local legend and people's champ, Chewy.
That was an amazing last goal you just made. How did that feel scoring that goal?
It felt really good, especially because it was the last minute, and we wanted to win this game since the week started. So, I mean, Alessi laid the ball for me, and I just decided to have a shot, and I hit it good, right on the sweet spot, and it went in. So
it was a great goal. So obviously playing with two guys or against two guys tonight who were literally on your team 2 weeks ago, the Hume brothers, what does it feel like playing against them?
Obviously we miss them because they were on our team last year, and we knew that they were going to come out to want to win this game, but that's going to be with every team. So I mean, every time we play a team, we just got to take it to the next level. And I mean, we obviously missed the guys' height, but I mean, it's all about the team at the end.
Perfect. And obviously you guys are going to come up on a next big game in 2 weeks from now. And again, holding that #1 position, what is that going to feel like for the rest of the season? How's that going to help?
This win's going to help us a lot, especially because we're at top of the table, and that just gives us more confidence to go in every game and win. So hopefully we continue on and keep winning, and that's all we need.
All right. Well, congratulations. Have a good rest of your night. Thanks, Chewy. All right, guys, and back to you in the booth whenever you're ready.
And what a finish for the Aztecs. 2-1, you heard it from our silent reporter Shelby Hodges. Got a chance to talk to what I believe will be your player of the game, but I can't read your mind.
You read it. Chewy Cortez, definitely player of the game. When you score a goal in the closing seconds of a game, you absolutely deserve it. And he is 100% player of the game, and it's just fantastic that of all people, the people that the fans truly adore and have crowned him people's champ even from last year and the year before, gets that awesome goal in the closing seconds to gain an important 3 points.
Right. And then you get that 3 points, sits you at top of the league. I mean, they already were there. They knocked off the second team in Mississippi last week. Now they stand inevitably alone. 12 points in the lead, 4-0. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is something they have never done. I mean, being undefeated at this point, it's really showing that they have this variance of play, that they can come back now from being down 1-0. That is huge to come back to tie it and then push it in even into extra time to get a clutch goal at the end. I mean, this team has shown that it can have many different ways to win.
Absolutely.
And to go through that, you see the heart of a team. And as another Austin athlete, great coach, Augie Garrido says, games don't show character, they reveal it. And the character of this team going on to this game, showing that character, being able to play and fight to the very end. Chewy Cortez struggles throughout the beginning, had a couple open shots, comes into the very last bit and sends the game-winning goal through the back of the net. You can't write a script. You talked about that, and they've won it here tonight, and they earned their 12th point.
It's amazing, and it's what it does is winning these regular season table teams is huge because first off it's good for points, and second off it's good for staying perfect, and third off it's good for energy and morale, right? If we would have left tonight with a 1-1 tie, you kind of go back to the locker room. Is Coach Manny upset, or is he happy for getting back to a tie? It's just kind of like, whatever. 1 point at home, it's not the best, but to secure 3 points, such a hard-fought battle, to come back, like you said, resolve, is amazing. And like you said, mentioned about Chewy, and that's why players like Chewy are on the field. It's that bit of magic you can't teach the players. He went a little bit quiet there in the second half, and you didn't see too much of him bopping around like he did. And all of a sudden, he gets in the end of a half volley and just roofs it into the net. Fair play to Long, who had a great game for Midland. Yeah. And he's going to be so upset that he worked so hard, and in the closing seconds, a screamer, flies past him. So fantastic job, Chewy. It's going to be a great win for Austin. That locker room's going to go from that game was a tough one too. Incredibly excited. We're top of the table. We're undefeated, and we protected our home field. This is huge.
Well, a huge win for the Aztecs as they stay atop the Mid-South Division. Coming up in the regular season, they'll have to face off against Laredo, taking off the rest of this season as they go on. U.S. Open Cup long forgotten as they take hold of the top of the division on a amazing goal, a storybook ending to this game tonight. 2-1, Austin Aztecs win it. And thanks for coming in with us. We'll be with you 2 weeks from now as we continue the season for the Austin Aztecs. For Ross Kelly, I'm Bruce Cabina. And thanks for tuning in here on Texas Student Television.
All right,